under advanced, NVMe, and I'm assuming since it says Raid on, I would put it, that's the way it was, that's the default setting, so Raid on. And now we will go down to, sorry, I went to the wrong place. So now you go into the Intel Rapid Storage Technology option. We had already under the SATA NVMe operation, Raid on. Okay, NVMe operation, Raid on. Go down to Intel Rapid Storage Technology, go in there. And in here, we're going to the Intel create a RAID volume. So we're going to click on that, and RAID level volume 1. So I'm going to rename it. I can actually rename it here and name it RAID 0. Okay, press enter. So now I'm going to arrow down to the RAID type, so I can choose between RAID 0 stripe or RAID 1 mirror. RAID 1 mirror, it's not really for performance, even though I have high performance SSDs installed. RAID 1 is more for backups. It's more for an exact mirror or duplicate of each drive. So I don't want to do that. That's more if you have a lot of sensitive data. I keep my data off my computers. They're always external. Back them up to the cloud, things like that. Because of that issue with the drive going on you one day, or everything's going to eventually fail, and you don't want to have important things on there. So if you're worried about things like that, you choose RAID 1. Both drives will be used. One will be used to run apps and install programs and things like that. The other one will be used to make an exact backup of that one drive. I don't want to do that. I'm choosing RAID 0 for performance. It should double my speed, hopefully. RAID 0 will split the data in half pretty much and write to both drives simultaneously. The biggest difference between the two, besides performance, is that RAID 1, I have two 4 terabyte drives in there. With RAID 1, I would only have 4 terabytes of data or space. RAID 0 will give me 8. So now we're going to create the RAID 0, and we have to select the disk. So I arrowed down to the different drives. See, 4,000 terabytes. I mean, 4,000 gigabytes. Wow. Imagine 4,000 terabytes. So under this option, we are going to arrow down here to the X and choose enter. We're going to arrow down to the next disk. These are the 2 disks. We need 2 disks to create a RAID. And as you will see, wow, that's a big RAID. Let me just do something really quickly. As you'll see there, select at least 2 disks to create a RAID volume. So, and that's the 8 terabytes. Okay, so let's scroll down to, or arrow down to create volume and see what happens. Wow, 7.2 terabytes. Awesome. So let's save and exit, which will be F10. So you can see F10 to save and exit. And now save configuration. Let me take this out and restart. Yes. Awesome. We just created our Raid0. Nice. Now we can start the install. Finally, I'm getting this window, and what I had to do is I had to create a Windows 11 installation media USB disk back here. So when I created the recovery file for this laptop, I was hoping that that would include this file, and I don't think it did, or it was corrupt. Something went wrong. So I just went back and I just created just a Windows 11. Let me just show you. This is what I used. I put the 12/20/22 on the bottom, but it's to create a Windows 11 installation media, and that's what I had to do to get the window that you just saw. So I'm gonna just go the long way. I don't know if the restore or the recovery USB disk that I created is either corrupt or not working. So I'm going the long way. I'm gonna do installation of Windows 11 and then install everything else afterwards. I did copy the RAID drivers onto this disk, so that shouldn't be an issue. I can search for the RAID drivers when the option comes up. I'm going to have to use custom install. As you can see, nothing there, so let's install the drivers. The installation says it right there. Load drivers. So let's click on load drivers. And we're gonna have to choose browse. So you browse to it and you choose RAID drivers here. And click OK, and there is the driver. Now understand that the RAID driver file, that's what I created. I just copied it onto the Windows 11 installation disk. So I'm gonna leave it on the first choice and click on next and see what happens. So once the driver is loaded, we get our disk. As you can see, the Raid0 configuration is working. The software is reading it. One drive, almost 8 gigs. That's what 2 4TB NVMe drives will give you in space. Now let's continue to install the software. Click next. Let's see how long it takes. It's 7:15 p.m. Wow, amazing. 14 minutes to install Windows 11 on this laptop with Raid0, the 2 4TB SSDs. I should have done a video of when it said 7:15. That's pretty impressive. I just installed since this is a fresh install with none of the drivers or anything, I just put in the drive I created for the Alienware laptop, the recovery disk, and I'm gonna boot to it to see what options it gives me. Maybe now with the OS, with this OS fully installed, I can restore it back to the default Alienware laptop settings with the drivers and software. So let me see what happens when I reboot. I believe it's F12. I'm going to boot it up after pressing F12. It booted up to this menu. Boot mode is set to UEFI, secure boot on. Okay, forget about that. I'm gonna arrow down to the USB 1 boot manager. I just want everything back to the way it was when I purchased the laptop. I want an exact image of it. So I think I needed to install the Windows OS and then boot to this, the recovery disk that I created in the Alienware laptop. So I'm just going to skip this drive. I don't know why it's asking me that. I don't know what that is. I just skipped it. I know about this option. I've chosen this one before when I'm selling my PC. It's supposed to be just like an Apple device. It really cleans out all your data. Not, you know, hopefully it does work. I am just keeping my PC, so I'm just going to do just remove my files, and I'm going to recover from this USB drive. Hopefully it'll put everything, it'll put the Alienware wallpaper and all the drivers back in place, and the software. So I'm just gonna do just remove my files. Recover. So it's recovering the data from the USB disk. Let's see how long this takes. It is 7:40 p.m. We're now at this screen. So the restore took longer than the Windows total installation. It took 30 minutes, 8:10 p.m. And everything's back, all the drivers, everything. And the actual drive, as you will see, let me eject this. So that's the USB, and that's it right there. The OS, 8 gigs, Raid0, 4 terabyte SSD, Western, hold on 1 second, you will see right there. That is a lot of space and a lot of speed. 2 Western Digital Black NVMe SSDs, 4 terabytes, 7,300 megabytes, read and write. Installation on the Raid0 configuration in the new DeLL X17R2 laptop. This is going to be the ultimate maxed out laptop. 8 terabytes. And the actual 64 gigs. I maxed out the memory, 64 gigs of RAM also. Again, on the DeLL X17R2. I'm going to do a speed test and all that, but that's going to be another video. All right, thank you for joining me. I know it's a long video. If you've lasted this long, then you're very interested in what I had to go through to get Raid0 working, but I got it working. Really fast installs, much, much faster. Like you saw, I had to install Windows and then install the restore. Then use the restore disk to restore it back to the factory defaults from DeLL. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them below. Thank you. Bye.